Welcome! Since this is our very first video, hitting that subscribe button right now would mean the world to us and really help kickstart this channel. If you find value in understanding how your mind shapes your money, please also give this video a thumbs up and consider sharing it with friends and family who might benefit. Let's grow this community together. Now, let's dive in. What if I told you that building wealth has less to do with how smart you are and more to do with how you act? It sounds counterintuitive, right? We often associate financial success with complex strategies, prestigious degrees, or high-powered jobs on Wall Street. But consider the story of Ronald Read. He worked as a gas station attendant and a janitor his whole life. Yet, when he passed away in 2014, he left behind an $8 million fortune, much of it donated to his local library and hospital. How did he do it? No lottery wins, no inheritances. Just decades of consistent saving and patient investing, allowing the magic of compounding to work. Ronald Read's story perfectly illustrates a fundamental truth, explored in Morgan Housel's insightful book, The Psychology of Money. Financial success is not strictly a hard science. It's a soft skill. Your behavior, your patience, your discipline, your ability to manage emotions like fear and greed often matters far more than your technical knowledge or intelligence. You don't need a fancy degree or an insider's edge to build financial security. What you need is a sound behavioral framework. In this video, we'll explore key psychological concepts that can help you master your money mindset and pave your own path to financial well-being. Think about buying something you really want. Maybe a new gadget, a stylish piece of clothing, or even just a cup of coffee. You understand there's a price tag attached. You pay the fee and you get the item. Simple, right? Investing, especially in the stock market, works the same way. It offers incredible potential for wealth creation over the long term, but it doesn't come free. There's a price, a fee you have to pay. And that fee isn't listed in dollars and cents. It's paid in volatility, uncertainty, doubt, and sometimes outright fear. High returns rarely travel in a straight line. The path is often bumpy. Consider a potentially high-growth stock like Netflix was years ago. Investing early could have made you incredibly wealthy, but could you have stomached the journey? Netflix stock experienced massive drops along the way, like the 80% plunge in 2011. Imagine seeing a huge chunk of your net worth evaporate in months. Could you resist the urge to sell? Could you handle the stress and uncertainty? Even a diversified investment like an S&P 500 index fund isn't immune. Over decades, investors have endured long stretches where their portfolio was down 20%, 30%, even 50% from its peak. That's the price of admission for potentially earning long-term market returns. Many people try to get the returns without paying this price. They try to time the market, jumping in and out, hoping to catch the ups and avoid the downs. But this rarely works consistently. The key is to view volatility not as a fine or a penalty, but as the fee you pay for the opportunity of long-term growth. Accept it, endure it, and understand that it's a normal part of the investing journey. If you can't stomach the fee, aim for less volatile investments, understanding that the potential returns might also be lower. Know the price and be willing to pay it. Capitalism is incredibly effective at generating wealth, but it's also remarkably good at generating something else: envy. It's human nature to compare ourselves to others, our neighbors, our colleagues, the people we see on social media. We see someone with a bigger house, a faster car, a more lavish vacation, and that little voice whispers, "I want that too." This social comparison can be a powerful motivator, pushing us to work harder and achieve more. But it has a dark side. It can trap us in a perpetual cycle of wanting more, where the goalpost for enough keeps shifting further away. No matter how much wealth we accumulate, there's always someone with more. The $500,000 a year doctor feels inadequate next to the $10 million a year CEO. The CEO feels small compared to the billionaire athlete. The billionaire athlete sees tech moguls like Jeff Bezos adding tens of billions to their net worth in a single year. There is always a bigger fish. This relentless pursuit of more can lead people to make disastrous decisions. They might take on excessive debt, make reckless speculative bets, or even resort to illegal activities like insider trading, all in an attempt to climb the next rung of the wealth ladder. They risk things they have and need, their reputation, their freedom, their family relationships, for things they don't have and don't need. The key is to define what enough means for you, independent of others. What level of wealth provides security, comfort, and freedom for your life goals? Once you reach that point, learn to step off the hamster wheel of comparison. Protect what you have built. Do not let the poison of envy push you to risk everything for something you don't truly need. Have you ever looked at someone else's financial choices and thought, that's completely crazy? Maybe it's someone spending what seems like a fortune on lottery tickets, while apparently struggling to make ends meet. Or perhaps it's someone keeping all their savings in cash under the mattress instead of investing. It's easy to judge. But here's a crucial insight. People's financial decisions aren't made in a vacuum. They are shaped by a lifetime of unique experiences, different upbringings, varying levels of education, and distinct personal values. What seems irrational to you might be perfectly logical from their point of view. Take the example of lottery tickets. Low-income households often spend significantly more on them than high-income ones. From a purely rational financial perspective, it seems illogical, especially if that money could be used for savings or emergencies. But try to see it through their lens. For someone living paycheck to paycheck, with limited opportunities for advancement or saving, a lottery ticket might represent the only tangible hope, however slim, of dramatically changing their circumstances. It's less about the odds and more about buying a dream. Similarly, someone who grew up during a period of high inflation or experienced a devastating market crash might be deeply distrustful of banks and the stock market, making hoarding cash feel like the safest option, despite the risk of inflation eroding its value. Understanding this doesn't mean you should copy others' strategies. In fact, it reinforces the opposite. Your financial plan should be tailored to your goals, your risk tolerance, and your circumstances. Don't blindly follow what a billionaire does, because their goals, likely preserving wealth, are probably very different from yours, perhaps building wealth. Recognize that different perspectives lead to different actions, and focus on crafting the path that makes sense for you, based on your own experiences and objectives. Hey, just pausing for a second here. If you're finding these insights into money psychology helpful, please take a moment to hit that like button below. It really helps. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time to do so you don't miss future videos. All right, let's get back to it. History is full of massive, world-altering events that seemingly came out of nowhere. The Great Depression, major wars, the 2008 financial crisis, the COVID-19 pandemic. These are what author Nassim Taleb calls black swans, events that are outliers, have an extreme impact, and yet, in hindsight, seem explainable, even predictable. The financial markets are profoundly affected by these black swans. Think back to Black Monday in 1987, when the market dropped nearly 25% in a single day, or the depths of the 2008 crisis, or the sudden plunge in early 2020. These events were largely unforeseen by the vast majority of experts and investors. Trying to predict the next black swan is usually a futile exercise. By definition, they are surprises. What's more useful is to accept that unpredictable, high-impact events will happen. The future will inevitably contain surprises that shake the markets. So, how do you navigate this? Not by trying to predict the unpredictable, but by preparing for it. This means building resilience into your financial life. Have an emergency fund. Avoid excessive debt that makes you vulnerable to shocks. Diversify your investments. Most importantly, cultivate the mental fortitude to stay the course when chaos erupts. Missing just a few of the best days in the market, which often occur during periods of high volatility, can drastically reduce your long-term returns. Panicking and selling during a downturn is often the worst thing you can do. Instead of trying to forecast the rain, focus on building a sturdy financial arc that can weather any storm, foreseen or unforeseen. Think about financial commentary. Who sounds smarter? The person warning about an impending crash, citing debt levels, inflation risks, and geopolitical tensions, or the person calmly suggesting that things will likely continue to improve over the long run, pointing to technological progress, rising living standards, and human ingenuity? Almost invariably, the pessimist sounds more intelligent, more sophisticated. The optimist often comes across as naive, maybe even Pollyanna-ish. Why is this? There are deep-seated reasons. As Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman explains, our brains are wired for survival. We treat threats as more urgent than opportunities. Losses loom larger than gains. Listening to warnings about potential dangers helped our ancestors survive, so pessimism carries an evolutionary advantage. Furthermore, progress tends to happen gradually, almost imperceptibly, over long periods. Setbacks, however, can happen suddenly and dramatically. A market crash, a pandemic, a war. These sudden negative events create compelling narratives and grab our attention far more effectively than the slow, steady march of progress. A pessimistic forecast often feels more actionable, more urgent. An optimistic one, focusing on long-term trends, can feel vague and less compelling. Recognizing this inherent bias towards pessimism is crucial for investors. While acknowledging risks is important, constantly succumbing to pessimistic narratives can lead you to miss out on the long-term growth that has historically characterized markets and human progress. Optimism, not blind optimism, but a rational belief in long-term progress and innovation, is the fuel that allows investors to stay the course through inevitable downturns and ultimately build wealth. Understand that pessimism sells and sounds smart, but it's often optimism that pays. So, what does this all mean for you? Building wealth isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It's deeply intertwined with our psychology, our behavior, and our ability to manage our own emotions. Remember Ronald Read, the janitor millionaire? His success wasn't due to genius-level intellect, but to simple, repeatable behaviors, saving consistently and staying patient over decades. Mastering your money mindset involves several key shifts. Accepting volatility. Understand that market ups and downs are the unavoidable price you pay for potential long-term growth. Don't try to avoid the fee. Learn to endure it. Defining enough. Resist the siren song of social comparison. Define your own financial goals and know when to stop taking unnecessary risks. Embracing different perspectives. Recognize that your financial reality is unique. Build a plan that suits you, rather than blindly copying others whose circumstances and goals may differ vastly. Preparing, not predicting. Accept that the future holds unpredictable events. Focus on building financial resilience rather than trying to guess what's next. Balancing pessimism with optimism. Be aware of the natural pull towards negative thinking, but remember that long-term progress is driven by rational optimism. Ultimately, financial success is less about what you know and more about how you behave. It's about discipline, patience, humility, and a long-term perspective. By understanding the psychology behind your financial decisions, you can cultivate healthier habits, avoid common pitfalls, and build a more secure and fulfilling financial future. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. If you found value in this discussion on mastering your money mindset and you're still here, please do us a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and share it with anyone you think might benefit. As a new channel, every subscription, like, and share helps us grow immensely and tells YouTube that you appreciate this content, helping us reach more people. We'd also love to hear from you. What was your biggest takeaway? What topics related to money, investing, or psychology would you like us to cover in future videos? Let us know in the comments below. Your feedback will shape the future of this channel. Until next time, keep mastering that money mindset.